So I did a promo recently on my main channel, Geekdom 101, about Gala Games, and I wanted to discuss like an update because I did promise you on that video I would give you an update right from the Gala Games website, their blog, about Frank Miller. That's right, the legendary artist and writer who did, Sin City. He did 300, the comic. He wrote legendary runs of Daredevil, Dark Knight Returns, and he's going to be working with Gala Games now, and that's kind of a big deal. The whole NFT thing is still kind of a new thing. So for them to get Frank Miller on board, I think is a pretty cool coup, especially if you're a fan of nerd culture, for a guy like this to work with them. So it is new news. Well, it's from April, but it's still news I wanted to tell y'all 'cause maybe you don't know about it. But yeah, check it. I'll leave a link to this article down below before we get to the PS5 video. So check that out. Video Game Memories is back here on World of Geekdom, and I figured I'd do a video, not really so much about video game memories this time, but I want to talk about why I'm not really going to be buying a PS5 anytime soon, and why I'm going to wait before I buy one. Now, when it comes to like this whole topic, I want to say that it has nothing to do with the fact that I don't like the system, because when it comes to like processing power and specs, I think it's great. I mean, every next gen system always pushes the boundary. But at the same time, I've also got a really, really good PC. And when you have a really, really good PC, one that I custom built 2 years ago, when you have a really good PC, the need for a console tends to dwindle down a bit. But the reason as to why I always buy a game console is for the exclusives. That's why. And that's why I chose to go with the PS5 and not the Xbox, because even though the Xbox does seem to have superior tech, the PS5 is most likely going to have a much more satisfactory game library that's not just going to get ported to PC automatically. Pretty much every Xbox game that I consider to be a major title that I want to play has wound up on PC at one point or another. So I can just play it on PC. But really, the thing about the PS5, the issue with it has nothing to do with the system itself. Even though some would say, well, it's hard to find, which it kind of is, and others would say it's too expensive, which I understand that too. I'm definitely going to buy one eventually, right? Probably by the end of this year. But I was in no rush to buy one when it came out last year. Now, let me tell you, I had friends of mine who were scavenger hunting these PS5s, and I'm sure some of you out there probably can relate to that. I had friends of mine waking up early to browse websites for retailers and people going on eBay spending absorbent amounts of money. Hell, I remember in fact, I might do a whole video about the launch of the PS2. This same thing, or at least something similar, happened with the PS2. I remember when the PS2 came out, and I remember there were people who were going in and, no, I'm sorry, the PS3, not the PS2, the PS3. When the PS3 came out, that original release, there were people who were selling PS3s on eBay for like $2,000 easily, and it was not worth that much. It's like the rich folks wanted to get the PS3 for their kids, and they couldn't because they had sold out of consoles, so they went ahead and bought them, online. The thing about me, and those of you who have been following my channel, watching my speakdoms, or if you ever had a conversation with me, you know that I'm kind of a minimalist, and I'm not really one of those guys that's drawn to, I'm not one of those guys that now I used to be this way, but not anymore, that likes to spend money on stuff that I don't need. Like, and the thing is, I don't think anybody really needs, and I'm using the word needs here, a video game system. However, we don't buy them because we need them. We buy them because they're fun, because we enjoy playing video games, relieving stress, conquering a story, or just being entertained, right? But for me, my issue is that I have such a huge backlog of games right now. Not even just on PS4. I've even got some PS2 games in my collection. I've got a pretty impressive PS2 collection. I've got like somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 games. It's not a lot compared to like some of the people on YouTube that have hundreds. But I want to actually beat those games. I don't collect games just to collect them. I collect them because I want to play them and beat them. I've always been that kind of guy. Nothing wrong with being a collector. I just want to actually play the games and beat them and enjoy them. And I've got so many games on PS2 I haven't defeated yet. And I've also got a Switch with several games and the PS4. I have a PS4 that I purchased about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, roughly, something like that. And there's still games on that system I haven't beat. Games that I spent pretty good money on. Some I spent 20, some I spent 40, some I spent 60 on, depending on where I got it. But I want to make my way through those games. I think I told myself, and this is kind of a good rule of thumb if you want to like sort of trick yourself into not spending money. Because people like to spend money on the newest thing when it comes out. They have this wild consumerism about them. And you have to be very careful with this. This is how you end up broke. The reality is that most people didn't really have to get the PS5 when it first came out. There were a handful of games that were interesting on it, but there weren't enough games to justify spending that price tag and justify going through the headache of getting one this early, in my opinion. Now, if you disagree, that's fine because you have a right to spend your money how you want. I just personally felt like I would rather make my way through some of my PS4 titles, finish those off, enjoy them with my PS4 before I choose to upgrade to the next gen. Obviously, there are a lot of PS4 games that look better on PS5 because of the enhanced graphical updates with the 4K and everything. I know all about that. And I'm sure that's going to be a hell of an experience. Like I've heard Destiny 2, for example, and I like Destiny 2. I've only played a few hours of it, but I did like what I played. But I've heard Destiny 2 is like a totally different game. Sean Schemmel, actually, the voice of Goku, told me on the phone that Destiny 2 is a totally different game on PS5. So what does that tell you? I mean, it's impressive, and I'm looking forward to playing Destiny 2 on PS5. But it's like, personally, what I did, and this goes back to my speakdoms, is when the PS5 came out, or right before it came out, I invested a bunch of money in Sony, and it has paid off. Sony's a pretty safe company to invest in, not just because of the PlayStation video games, but also the movies, Spider-Man. Sony, and of course the other, hardware they put out. Sony is really good at making money, and they have been since I was a little kid, So it's a safe company to invest in, like Microsoft, and I've got money in both of them because they both know how to make money, no matter what side of the console war you're on. But for me, I just kind of felt like, do I really have to buy this? Do I really have to go out and buy the PS5 now? No. Now, will I eventually get one? Absolutely. Because there's going to be some badass games coming. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, Dragon Quest 12 maybe, depending on when that gets announced. There's going to be some stuff coming. But honestly, I just don't see the need to buy it yet when I've got so many PS4 games I still want to play. Like right now on Twitch, twitch.tv/Big D Geekdom 101, I will play Uncharted. I've only played it once so far, but I will be going back to play that on Twitch. Uncharted 4. I already beat Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 on there, and now I'm gonna go back and beat 4. Like I've got games I want to finish. You know what I mean? I beat a lot of the Resident Evils on the PS4. So I got games, I'm working my way down the catalog. I don't see the need of buying a PS5 right now. That's just my opinion. And obviously when they become a little bit easier to find, the price is not going to go down for a while, but when they become easier to find in stores without us having to go through these headaches, when it becomes normalized, when I can just go to Walmart and get a PS5 and not have to worry about it. And hell, that might be how it is now. I haven't been to Walmart in like months. So I don't even know, dude. I have not been to Walmart in quite some time. But, because I usually shop on Amazon. But, and the grocery store. But, like, I don't know. I'll get one eventually, but there's just no need to get one right now. So if you're on the fence about it, maybe consider playing some more classic games like either PS4 or even older, because there's so many games out there. Like even Steam has these crazy sales. So there's all kinds of games out there that are waiting to be discovered to where you don't even need a PS5. Just get a PS5 when you have at least 5 games that you really, really want. You know what I'm saying? Like 5 new games that you really, really want. That's what I would do, especially if you're tight on money. You know what I mean? Just being practical here. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to y'all in the next one.